There's lots to love about this new Samsung phone. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at this. Such a nice phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. What's the difference between the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus? I'm glad you asked. The Note 10 Plus features a bigger screen. This is a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED screen, whereas the Note 10 has a 6.3-inch screen. So that little extra size also gives them some little extra features too. So we'll get to that. First off, let's talk about power and capabilities. So this is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 running 2.84 gigahertz octa-core with an Adreno 640 GPU, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and either 256 or 512 gigabytes of storage. It's a lot of music and movies, just saying. But here's what's cool, is the Note 10 Plus also has support for a micro SD card, and that you can have up to 1 terabyte of additional storage, which means you could have, theoretically, 1.5 terabytes of storage on your darn phone. That is a lot. What the heck would you do with that much storage? I know. In 10 years, we'll look back and say you only had a terabyte? Yikes, how did you even deal with all that 3D VR content back then? We don't have it yet, but we will. The micro SD is not available on the Note 10, only on the Note 10 Plus, worth knowing. Now, runs Android 9, so unlike the Google Pixel 4, for example, which is running Android 10, this is one generation back, but you know what? Android 9 is a really nice, seamless experience. There's nothing to complain about. And in terms of the imagery and such, well, all I can say is this is a stunning screen. Let me just get something in here. And there's some video footage. And this is a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED screen running at 3040 by 1440 at 498 pixels per inch. So it's basically 500 pixels per inch. And that means everything's really crisp, especially text. When you get a really dense screen, all of the edges of the letters and everything become crisper, which makes it a lot easier to read. Really nice. Also features Gorilla Glass 6, which is the latest generation of super tough glass on a phone. That is good. You do not want to have this beautiful phone and then have it scratched or otherwise damaged. That would be very bad. So Gorilla Glass 6 helps you out. One other thing about this that I really like that you probably aren't used to if you're an iPhone user is it has an S Pen. Yes, there is a stylus built into this device because you can use this for annotation, for doodling. You can actually take notes and it'll automatically convert your hopefully reasonably clean handwriting into actual text that you can save or email someone. Super cool, and it's all designed so that it just goes right back in and you never even have to think about the fact that it's there. I would bet there are some people that probably use this and never realize there's a stylus, and someday they're like, what's that? Push. Oh my gosh, look, this. So cool. All right, now rear facing, there are 3 cameras. Now Samsung says there are 4 cameras, but the 4th camera they're talking about is their 3D depth camera. Whatever, that doesn't really count because it's not really actually a separate camera you can use. It's just used for 3D spatial imaging and such. So really 3 cameras. The widest angle is a 16 megapixel f2.2, which is 12 millimeters, sort of the equivalent on a digital SLR. And then there's a 12 megapixel f1.2 27 millimeter, which is your wide angle. And then there's a 12 megapixel f1.2 also, which is a 52 millimeter, and that one actually is your zoom. So what does all that mean? Well, I'm going to show you. This is the same photo taken first at super wide angle, and then just at wide angle, regular sort of middle of the ground, and then I have it at its most telephoto option. I haven't zoomed in or out other than just simply changing which camera I'm using. And so you can see what the difference is. It's pretty impressive. Note also how clean those photos are. They're really crisp, really bright. They're really beautifully imaged, really nice. Now, the rear-facing camera can also capture video 4K at 60 frames per second, or if you're willing to step down to 720p rather than 4K, which is still gonna look really good, you can get 960 frames per second in super slow motion. That slows anything down. I don't even care if it's your cat running to get a snack. It's going to slow them way down. Very nice. So let me show you a couple more demos. Here's another photo I took. And here's a night photo I took because it has a really nice night mode. And that's one of the big things that these companies are all working on is super low light photography. It's very nice. Now, let's look at some video footage too. And this moment of Zen, River Zen, is going to be brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Wasn't that nice? More importantly, wasn't that a really crisp, nice looking bit of video footage? Very impressive. Now, the front-facing camera is actually, the selfie camera is 10 megapixel f2.2 at 26 millimeter. And as you can see, once I wake the phone up, that they have what they call, so this is not a notch, it's not a V, it's not a cutout, it's a hole punch. So everyone has to figure out a way to have the screen, but not, of course, have it cover up that selfie camera. Oh, what would we do without the selfie camera, right? So they have a hole punch. I mean, it's actually a pretty accurate name for it. So one of the interesting things this phone also has is if you use their dedicated headphones with built-in microphone, it actually has the ability to do some active noise canceling by tapping into that headphone microphone. Pretty cool. Also supports Dolby ATMOS, though I'm pretty sure that when Dolby designed that super high-end audio system, they weren't thinking of phones, they were thinking of movie theaters, but still, really nice job. It does a really great job with audio. Features Bluetooth 5.0 with aptX, which gives you that extra dynamic room in your music. Yes, everything's going to sound good. And it also has built-in FM radio, which is just actually a chip. And in fact, I think the chips all have that, but it's just whether the operating system supports it or not. How often do you listen to FM radio? I don't know. I don't very often, but if I needed to, if there was an emergency or something, it would be nice to know I didn't have to rely on internet and I could just tune into my FM air and then find out what's going on. So, nice feature. Let's back up just a tiny bit because I also want to talk about the battery. They put a pretty honking battery into this. This is a 4,300 milliamp hour battery, which is going to give you at least a full day of usage. And it also supports USB power delivery 3.0 for super fast charging. And obviously it does wireless charging. This is my wireless OtterBox charger. I put the phone on there and it is, well, let's put it in the right place. It is charging right up. But this phone has a little secret because if I pull down twice, I get access to something called wireless power share. So I'll turn that on. And now, check this out. These happen to be Apple AirPods Pro, which are charged wirelessly. I put them on the back of the phone and they're charging. How cool is that? So your phone can actually charge other devices via wireless Qi charging if you turn it on. And if you don't want to use that and you don't want to allocate any of your precious battery life to something like that, simply just never enable it. Easy enough. So let's look in the box real quick too. So let's see, I got this from AT&T. Super nice of them to loan me one of these. And in the box is, this is important, distracted driving is never okay. It can wait. Don't text and drive, man. I see so many people on their phones while they're driving. Quite alarming, actually. Terms and conditions, paperwork, whatever. Not very exciting. But then underneath, oh, look at all those glorious bits and pieces. Let's see what's in here. We have, I don't even know what this is. This is some sort of, I don't know. It's a mystery adapter. It might be some sort of a stand or something. Then we have AKG earbuds, so wired earbuds that do USB-C are included, very handy, and a charging cable. It charges via USB-C, good to know. It has a USB 3 to USB-C adapter, again, really handy to have, and because the phone only does USB-C, and a wall charger too. So basically, everything you need to get started, including earbuds. And earbuds are now becoming a little bit uncommon to find in cell phone boxes. It seems like a lot of the companies have just stepped away from that. It's kind of nice to get them, even if they're not really great, just to have something so you can get started. But of course, front and center is the phone itself. Now, let's just look real quick. There's really almost no buttons actually. On the left hand side there's volume up and down, and there's the Bixby button, which as far as I can tell also functions as a power button. And let's see, on the bottom, I've left some of the plastic. On the bottom there's a single speaker port, there's USB-C for charging and for your headphones, and then there's the storage space for the S Pen. So that's all you got here. There's really not much else. The fingerprint sensor is actually embedded underneath the screen, so it's not on the back, so you don't have to like hunt around and try to find it. That's real nice. And let's see, there's not much else I wanted to tell you about it. I'm just really impressed with this. From video to camera to performance to the screen, this edge-to-edge screen is really gorgeous. I mean, this is a really great phone. This is one of the best phones right now from Samsung, and probably one of the top 2 or 3 Android phones right now on the market. It does, however, have a price tag to match. But before I get there, let me ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. And give me some feedback. When I'm testing out phones, there's a sort of a routine that I go through of things I test. What do you wish I would do that I don't? So leave that in the comments. That'd be really helpful too. Okay, now this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It comes in Aura Glow, Aura White, Aura Black, or Aura Blue. And this looks like it might be, this looks like the blue. It's very subtle. Probably a phone this expensive I would be putting in a case, but that's up to you. So Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus through AT&T Wireless, you can get it flat out. You own it for $1,099. Yes, $1,099, and that's with the lower memory configuration. Sheesh. So if that is completely staggering and overwhelming, AT&T also supports you doing payments. So they have a really nice payment plan. You can buy the phone, spread your payments across 30 months, and then it's a much more modest $36.67 per month, plus taxes, fees, whatever else they're going to add. But basically, for under $40 a month, you can go from whatever the heck you have in your hands right now to this beauty. Definitely worth checking out. And of course, it works with a lot of other carriers too, but my friends at AT&T sent me this to review, so that's why I'm plugging them. And with that, I am going to get back to the phone, which means I will catch you in my next video.